Hi everyone, and welcome to our video tutorial for this angel wings cat jacket that you can see Melba modeling here. So I hope you enjoy this tutorial. Please like, share and subscribe, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks, bye. Okay, so to make these angel wings you'll need some yarn, and I'm going for white or cream, and you probably will too, but you can make these in any colour you like, of course. This one here is about a 5 weight. It's an acrylic wool blend, and then I'm going to add a feathery border around it, around the wings as well. So that's only optional, but I'm going to do that. And you'll need a crochet hook that corresponds to your yarn. I'm using 4mm. You'll need some scissors to snip your ends. You'll need a darning needle to weave in your ends, but also to sew your wings to your jacket. And then you might want something like a pipe cleaner or some sort of wire just to work into your wing. And you can use one or you can use multiple. I'm only using one, but you can use them to just to give your wings some structure. Okay, so to make this angel wings cat jacket, you'll need to know, so we're just to backtrack slightly, we're just making the wings in this tutorial, okay? So the jacket is filmed in a separate tutorial. It's the Prince Basic Cat Jacket. So I'll put a link in the description box below, but you can also find that on my channel. Okay, so we're just making the wings today, and then we'll sew the wings onto the jacket. So to make the wings, you'll need to know how to slip knot onto your hook, how to create a chain, how to double crochet, single crochet, and then how to weave in your ends and sew it's just some basic sewing stitches to sew the wings onto the jacket. Okay, so it's definitely beginner friendly. It's probably on the sort of intermediate beginner range, but it's definitely attainable for beginners. Yeah. And let's get started. Okay, so to get started, just make a slip knot onto your hook. And then we're going to chain 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now starting in the third chain from the hook, so leave 2 chains, starting from the third chain from the hook, we're going to place 1 double crochet in each chain. 2, and 3. And in that last chain, 1 double crochet. So we've got 4 double crochets there. So just to show you on the wing, I think it always helps to have the perspective of where we're working. So we're working in this area here to start with. Okay, chain 2 and turn, and then we're just going to place 1 double crochet in each stitch. And we're going to do that for this row and then 1 more row. So you go ahead and do that. Place your 1 double crochet in each stitch till the end of this row and then 1 more row, and I'll meet you there. Okay, so once you've finished that little rectangle, so you've got 3 rows of double crochets, 1 in each stitch. Now we're working down this side here. So this is how my piece fits into the wing. So you're just going to place a single crochet back in that last stitch, and then you're going to place single crochets down this raw edge. Okay, so try not to make holes if you can avoid it, and just evenly space them down that edge. So what I tend to do is do 1 into the center of that double crochet on the edge there. See, that's not quite in the center. I'd like to get that a little bit more into the center. Go. And then 1 in between the rows there. Okay, it doesn't really matter how many. You just don't want them to be too close nor too spread apart. So you've come down. Now also place one right in that last chain there. Okay. So you've got this little rectangle. Now we're going to come down this edge here. So you're going to chain 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. And then you're going to place, so again, leaving 2 for your chain. In that third chain from the hook, double crochet. And then all the way down your chain, double crochet. Just 1 in each chain. So 2 left there. 1 and 2. And now we're just going to, so just turn your work slightly, and then we're going to come along this edge here, okay? So we're just going to place double crochets along that edge. So that's along your single crochet edge, okay, the edge that you've just done that single crochet in, those single crochet into. So move all the way along that edge. Now in this top corner here, so we're moving along here, we've just reached this area here in the wing. So we're actually going to place 3 double crochets into that corner edge. Okay, now you could do it in either of those stitches. It doesn't matter too much. I'm going to do it in this one that I'm at now, just in one of those stitches that are right on the corner there. In this first row, it's just a little bit tricky to see. So I've got, that's my third one, and then I'm going to start moving down this other side. With my double crochets. Okay, so your 3 in the corner there just adds this nice curve to the wing and then into that last stitch. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. And this corresponds to this. Okay. So then we're going to chain 2 and turn. We're going to go back along that edge. So place 1 double crochet in each of these stitches. I'll meet you just at the point here, and you can probably guess we're going to place 3 double crochets into the central stitch of the 3, and then we're going to move all the way down here. So I'll meet you just at this corner just to make sure we go through that together, and yeah, just place your double crochets 1 in each stitch to that point. Okay, so I'm at my central 3 here, so just locate the central stitch. Okay, so place 1 in that first of the 3, and then in the central stitch you'll place your 3 double crochets. 2 and 3, and then you'll work all the way down to the last stitch here, and I'll meet you here. Okay, I'm just placing my last double crochet into that end stitch there. And then we're going to extend the wing out. Okay, so we're going to this time chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and then in the second chain from the hook, sorry, third chain, don't know why I can't get that right today, third chain. So we're always leaving the 2 as our turning chain. So from the third chain you'll place double crochets. So that's 4 double crochets along that chain. And then once again, you'll just turn your work so you can start to work down that edge again. So once again, you'll work all the way down, 1 double crochet in each stitch. When you get to your corner stitch, you'll place your 3 in the center of that corner, those corner stitches, and then you'll work all the way back to the end of this row. So I'll meet you down here. Okay, so we've finished that row there. So we're just going to repeat those same 2 rows one more time. Or if you want bigger wings, you could repeat them another time or 2. Or if you're using a much finer yarn than mine, you might want to go for another few rows. But basically, yeah, we're just going to repeat those last 2 rows. So we're going to come all the way down here, make our 3 in the corner, all the way down, we'll chain our 6, and then come back 4 along the chain, 4 stitches along the chain, and then we'll come all the way back up to here. And that for me will finish my wing, my second wing. So yeah, I'll meet you, so continue along and finish off those next 2 rows, and I'll meet you back here. Now, what I realise I've just forgotten to mention, because I'm not doing it, so I'm sorry about that. I forgot to mention, you could on each one of these rows, either direction, it doesn't matter. You could place a pipe cleaner, you know, underneath your stitches if you wanted to. I'm not, like I said, I'm not doing that. I'm only placing 1 pipe cleaner in this last feather border row. So you can absolutely, you know, add them into each one of these veins, let's call them veins, in the wings if you wanted to. And I'm sorry I didn't mention that earlier. Otherwise, I'm just going to continue along. I'm at my 4 stitches along my chain there, and then I'm working my way back to the end of this row. So I'll see you down here. Okay, so I've finished my wing as big as I want to go. Now, as I said before, if you want to make yours bigger, you would just keep repeating those last 2 rows. Okay, so mine is now the size of my other one. So I'm going to add my border and add the pipe cleaner in there. Okay, so I'll just move that one out of the way for a moment. So where I add my pipe cleaner is I tend to just add it, because they're not super long ones, I just tend to add it along there. And it's a little bit fiddly to work it in, but do your best. So if you could add just a single crochet border here if you're not changing your yarn or you're not adding a feather yarn. But I'm going to add this feather yarn, so I'll just place my pipe cleaner out of the way for a moment. So I'm just going to tie on my feather yarn. So the way I do that is I just pull up a loop and I chain 1. So I just do it very simply. If you've got a different way that you do it, then go ahead. And then I'll chain an extra 1 as my turning chain. Now I'll just weave in my ends later. And so I'm just going to place single crochets along this border, and then I'm going to start working in my pipe cleaner. So if you've done my bat wings tutorial, then this is very similar. You're just working in the pipe cleaner, and you kind of have to really get it in there to start with. It's a little bit tricky to start, and then just work over it with your single crochets. So I'm going to continue working my single crochets and the border over top of my pipe cleaner. So you do the same however you're doing it, and I'll meet you. So what I'm going to do with this border is I'm going to keep working over the pipe cleaner. I'm going to go all the way down to the end here, and then you don't have to continue, but I like the idea of having the border all the way around. So I'm going to continue all the way around here. Okay, now obviously some of these there's no stitches, so you'll just have to work them into the, you know, again, try like we did here with the single crochets, try not to make big holes, okay? Place them inside the stitches if you can. And then I'm going to work all the way down here. So I'll meet you down here. Okay, so just keep going with your single crochets and stop whenever you're ready, either here or come all the way down here. Now you don't need to do this edge because this is the edge that we will sew onto the jacket. Okay, so I'm going to keep going and I'll meet you down here. Actually, just to mention, when I get to the end of my pipe cleaner, you might have one long enough that it extends all the way down, but when I get to the end of my pipe cleaner, I actually place 2 stitches over top of it just to really hide that in there. Okay, optional, completely optional. You just do whatever works for your situation. So I'm going to continue on and I'll see you in a moment. Okay, so here I am down at my, down at the base of the wing there. So I'm just going to yarn over, pull through and tie off there. And then we'll go ahead and weave in the ends. I'll just cut that tail there too. So we're just going to go ahead and weave in the ends. Now, you'll just, I'm going to assume that you are familiar with weaving in ends. But you'll just thread your darning needle and work into the back of your wing. So this one for me is going to be this wing here. So I'm just going to work into what looks like the front, but is actually going to be the back of my wing. So you just weave it. It's always pretty easy to weave into double crochets. So I'm just going to weave down just along the edge there. And then it's always a good idea just to double back. So not exactly where you've come, but double back along the stitches. And then you'll just snip off your excess. And I'm going to go ahead and weave in my other 2 tail ends. So I'll meet you after that. And then we're going to sew the wings onto the jacket. Okay, so you will have made 2 wings and the jacket that's in the tutorial that I've placed in the description box below. So that's the Prince basic cat jacket. And I think mine kind of looks like clouds. So I'm going to stick with this grey and cream one that I filmed in that tutorial. And so what you'll need to do now is you'll need to decide where your wings are going to be placed and how you're going to place them. Okay, so my tendency is to kind of place them top edge to top edge, and then sitting down like that. So just think about how you want them to sit, whether you want them to sit, you know, closer up to the top or lower down. And I think mine is best probably lining up with this edge here. So I'm just seeing that row there, and I'm probably going to line them up just above that. So it's a good idea just to have some pins to pin them where you want them to be, where you want it to be. Just make sure you've got the center of the jacket, and I'm going to pin that one on there, and then that one on there. So you can place them however you want to. You could place them straighter. You could place the, you know, however you want them to sit. You'll place them there. So let's put that. Oops. So just pin them on, and we're going to sew them from the underside. Let's just make sure I've got the center of the jacket. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, that's pretty good. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to sew them from the underside So you'll take your, you know, if you hope, well, you use whichever yarn you want to use. I'm going to use the same yarn as my wings, but I'm kind of assuming you've probably made your jacket and your wings in the same yarn. Actually, that one just needs to come in just slightly. There we go. So you've probably made yours in the same yarn. So you'll take your yarn and thread your darning needle or your sewing needle. And so which one will I do first? Doesn't really matter. Let's do this one first. So where it is, so you're just going to come in underneath. So actually I'm going to leave that one pinned there. And I'm going to pin so you're just basically just going to sew on your, so taking a stitch from underneath, so a loop from underneath, and then working up into your wings. And yeah, it's pretty much that simple. So just a simple stitch, hand sewing stitch, just as neatly as you can down the back of the wing. So you go ahead and you finish yours off. I'll finish mine. So it'll sit like that. So this edge will be slightly underneath. Okay. So I'm going to continue on. So you sew on both of your wings where you want them to be, and I'll meet you once I've done mine. And just to mention, when you're working in these top, or so in the bottom and the top edges, just make sure that those are really secure. And you can even sort of go slightly round the corner. So I'm going just up into the top edge here, just to make sure that's nice and secure in there. And then once you've finished with your sewing, you'll obviously weave in your tail end into either the jacket or underneath the wing, or into the wing. So up to you. So I think that's my first wing sewn on there. And you see, by sewing it underneath, you kind of fold over the seam, and it kind of lifts the wing up slightly. But you could also sew here if you wanted to. I'm not going to do that, but you could. It's up to you. So I'm going to sew on my second wing, and I'll see you after. Okay, so there's your Angel Wings cat jacket. So I'd love to see photos of your cat wearing his or her jacket. So please send those along to catventurous.community@gmail.com, or you can tag us on social media at catventurous.crochet. So thanks very much for being here. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks very much. Bye. Hi everyone, and welcome to our crochet pattern. Hi everyone, and welcome to our video tutorial for this cat